Timeless skin. 9 steps to prevent and remove age spots gracefully. Hi, my name is Jan Benham, founder of the Aroma Shop. So before we begin, I just want to explain I am not a medical doctor. However, I did train in medical aesthetics back in 1978, and I then went on to become a holistic practitioner back in 1982 onwards. So what I'm talking about is based on experiences of thousands of clients plus myself. So what are age spots? Also known as liver spots. The technical term is called Lentigos. So I believe the most common cause of Lentigos is what they call a browning process, glycation process that happens in the skin. In cooking, this is called the Maillard reaction, where you, for example, get a piece of steak and you cook it. And then you have a reaction between the protein and the sugars that causes a browning. And that is called the Maillard reaction. Well, the same thing happens with the skin. If you have too much sugar in your blood, glucose or whatever, then you have the blood going through your dermis. And your dermis is made mainly of protein fibers, collagen and elastin. And then the body, of course, is hot. So it cooks the sugar and the protein together. And you have a browning factor occurring under the deep levels of the skin. And then this brown suddenly starts to raise up from the lower levels. It takes 28 days from the base level of the skin to the outer layer of the skin. And then you suddenly find yourself with a brown spot. So, step number 1, how do you deal with this? Look at your sugar consumption. Start looking at how much sugar you are actually having. Now, we're not just talking about sucrose, which is the common sugar. You're looking at glucose and fructose as well. And what I suggested to my customers over the years is that they would write down everything that they would consume, drinks and what they would eat, over a few days with no judgment, and then take a look back. Are they having a Coca-Cola every day, which is high in sugar? Are they having a packet of cookies? Sugar is in everything. If you look at a packet of processed food, sugar is there at the top. So starting to make little changes like that will affect your sugar level in your blood, which will lessen the process of you forming brown spots. Now, this takes me to looking at keto as a step number 2. So if you're really interested in managing your sugar levels, you might want to look at keto diets. So there is an app, for example, called Carb Manager, and there are other apps out there. That's the one I use. And you look how to manage your carbohydrate level. So ideally, in a keto diet, you would have your grams of carbs below 50 grams, and you would higher your fat level. And again, what you can do there is in the Carb Manager, you can put everything that you eat, and then you can see exactly how much carbs you are eating. You might find you're eating about 200 grams of carbs a day or more. So then you can start saying, okay, how do we cut this out? Let's take this out. Let's take this banana out. That's very high in carbs, and see what happens. So again, you can manage it. If you don't really want to go to 50 grams, you can start saying, oh, let's go down to below 100 grams. And then see how you feel, and slowly wean yourself, go further and further down until you're below 50 grams. Now, I found out about how this worked for me years ago. I've always been low carb all my life anyways, but about 10 years ago, I was doing a lot of traveling, and I was eating a lot of sandwiches on the run, and a lot of carbs were creeping into my diet. And I immediately started noticing I developed a age spot right on my bust. And it was quite a large age spot. I didn't like it too much. And a couple of years after that, I was able to start going back. I started settling down. I wasn't traveling as much. So I was able to sort of start saying, okay, I'm going to go keto now. And that's when I went keto. And I was also doing another type of treatment on top as well, specifically to target getting rid of liver spots, age spots, lentigos. And I noticed what started to happen was the top of the brown spot started to go crusty, like it was forming a scab. So I carried on doing this treatment, and I was also very low in carbs as well. And I started to notice I could pick it off. I was picking it off on my bust, and underneath the skin was good. And it disappeared. There was no more browning happening from underneath, continually feeding the browning effect. So if you keep the high sugar, the browning is just going to keep on happening because you have damage to the skin, to the fibers underneath, and it just keeps coming up in the same spot, which is why you always see the brown spots in the same area. So I didn't really put two and two together too much. I just thought it was the external treatment. But later on, a couple of years ago, I decided to go vegetarian. And I started eating lots of fruit that I hadn't been eating before, like bananas and papaya and orange juice and stuff like that. And very shortly after that, I started noticing, first of all, I started noticing I was getting more wrinkles on my face. I thought, oh God, I'm just getting older. But I did develop 2 age spots again, one right here and one right here. And that was a sort of an eureka moment in a way. And so last year, I decided to go back to my keto. And this time I went keto carnivore. So that was even more low carbs. And I started doing my same treatment as I did before. And I concentrated on the one here because this was quite a large brown spot that appeared. And the same thing happened exactly. I was putting on the product and I was also low carbs, very little sugar in my diet. And again, the same thing happened. It scabbed up like it was healing itself. And I was able to pick it off. Voila, the skin underneath was good. So then I really did put 2 and 2 together. So that is hack number 2, is looking at possibility of going keto. Now, other things affect and can cause age spots. One is the sun as well. So that's an external factor that causes the ages process in the skin and the damage, sun damage. Now, when I'm talking about sun damage, I'm really talking about sun damage. I'm not talking about being in the sun and enjoying the sun. I think the sun is good for you, but not baking in the sun, not doing it in such a way like we do from the north when we go down to Spain and we lie there and burn and frazzle. That is sun damage. And I'm not a believer either. You can do what you wish, but I personally find that the toxins and the chemicals that are in the sunscreens and sunblocks are very dangerous to the skin. I've known this for the past 30 years, and I haven't used any sunscreens since my early 20s. Now, how can you protect your skin? Well, simple. Clothing. Wearing a hat, a floppy hat. So I do love the sun. I like lying in the sun, not for a long time. I'm too restless for that. But what I do in the Netherlands is not much sun anyways, is I wear a big floppy hat. I like to read my books. I like to bare my rest of my body because I feel that it's good to get enough vitamin D. We don't get enough of that. So I lie there and I read my book, and usually I'm lying on my front. So my face itself is not getting sun damaged. I also wear, I moisturize my skin with carrot oils, and these carrot oils have natural sun protection. Also, mineral makeup has a lot of sun protection. So you don't have to put sunscreens and sunblocks on your face. And, you see in Arab countries, they cover themselves up. They don't go around half naked. So that is hack number 3, dealing with the sun and protecting yourself from the sun naturally. Now, another problem that plays havoc with the skin is stress. Now, you're not going to get rid of stress out of your life. You have to still go to work with that boss that causes you stress, and work might cause you stress. Life is full of stresses. I myself yesterday had so many problems with my computer. I could feel everything getting harder and stressed. So what I did was I took myself away from the situation and decided to clean my studio. You might find other ways. The thing is, the trick of stress is you need to get physical. So going out for a brisk walk, going to yoga, anything that was physical. You don't just sit there and let the stress build up. The adrenaline has to go somewhere. If you have a tiger after you, run. So it's not going to get rid of the stress, but learn how to manage it in a correct way. Now, how do we help heal it? Now, obviously, cutting out the sugar and cutting down on carbohydrates. We could also make sure you hydrate yourself well. And what I would suggest here, water is a great healer for the body. It plumps out the cells from within. You want to get good, clean water. And I always suggest you drink, not sipping your water throughout the day, but say in the morning you have 2 big glasses, and then the evening, early evening, not too late, have another 2 big glasses. That way you can be sure you have the correct amount of water. But don't constantly sip and carry your water bottle around with you every day. You don't need that. Just make sure you have 2 full glasses in the morning, 2 full glasses in the early evening, and if you want another glass throughout the day, that's good. So that is a good way of helping your body heal from within as well. That's one way. Now we're going to look at external, how to help remove the age spots externally. So how to help the skin repair. So I give my clients something called a fruit acid lotion over the years, and that's worked really well. Now the fruit lotion is made basically from organic citrus essential oils. And I use 3 of them: lemon, lime, and grapefruit. Now I do have the recipe in 2 of my books, The Creamy Craft of Cosmetic Making and The Baby Boomer's Beauty Bible. And also I have a recipe on how to make an unscented white lotion. Basically, the recipe is you get 15 ml of an unscented white lotion, and you add 6 drops each of organic lemon, lime, and grapefruit essential oils. So you've got 18 drops in 15 ml. It's quite a high concentration. Now these essential oils work by detoxifying the body, but it also works by stimulating the desquamation, or the removal of the top layer of the skin. So you apply twice a day, early morning and at night. Now 2 cautions here to be aware of. The citrus essential oils are sun sensitive, and if you put citrus essential oils on your face or on your body and expose it to the sun, it will cause burning. Also, I wouldn't put them right close to the eyes either. You don't want to get these citrus essential oils in the eye. They will burn. The effect that you feel when you start applying it is it will tingle where the area is being worked on, which is quite interesting. And the beauty of these essential oils is it doesn't seem to hurt the good skin. It only seems to work on the damaged skin. So it will tingle where the damage has occurred. And you'll notice a sloughing off of the skin. So the skin might get a little bit drier in certain areas. So I don't just use this fruit acid lotion on people who've got age spots on them. I have also used it on people, teenagers who have acne, to help rejuvenate the skin and help to naturally stimulate the skin to heal. So now we go to the next step, which is using essential oils. Now, as most of you might know, I'm an aromatherapist, and I'm also a teacher of aromatherapy. So I use essential oils a lot. And so 3 essential oils come to mind here for healing the skin: frankincense, carrot seed, and immortelle, also known as helichrysum. Now, these essential oils contain various natural chemicals in them, which help the healing process of the collagen fibers in the skin. So essential oils have the ability to penetrate the skin, the epidermis, and go to the dermis, where they have amazing healing properties. Now, Immortel, for example, contains a high level of ketones. It's a chemical that naturally occurs in some essential oils. And these ketones work by knitting, like healing the skin together. So it helps repair any damaged elastin fibers or collagen fibers in the skin. Of course, you've got to have good nutrition as well from within in order to help heal as well. And so all you have to do is, you can get some unscented lotion or your regular moisture cream, get a little bit in your palm of your hand, add a drop of, say, Immortel or frankincense or carrot seed to it, just one drop. They're quite strong, and then you just massage them into your skin as a night treatment. And that will help the healing process. So use the fruit acid to detoxify, and then you also can repair from within with the frankincense or carrot seed or Immortel. Now, my favorite trick was to start using castor oil, and that's the main one that I found was the main detoxifier. So obviously, what I was doing when I was working on my breast area and my other arm was actually putting castor oil mixed with some essential oils onto the area. Now, castor oil is very sticky, so what I would do is I'd put the castor oil on, and then I would put a band-aid on top, so it would stop the castor oil from going into my clothing. And castor oil has amazing abilities for healing the skin and detoxifying the body. It pulls out. We use castor oil in packs for liver problems and digestive disorders. Fantastic oil for regenerating the skin. And ironically, I have castor oil in one of my favorite moisture creams as well, for a reason. So another way you can use castor oil is literally rubbing it, especially on this area here. That's where people tend to get a lot of liver spots. Massaging in here at nighttime, and then because it's so sticky, just put your regular moisture cream on top of it. You can let this castor oil sit for a few minutes, and then apply a lotion on top, and that will take away the stickiness, but you'll still have the effect of the castor oil. So by working it from inside with lowering your sugar level, and externally by detoxifying the skin, allowing the skin to renew itself faster. The skin renews itself every 28 days. So within 28 days, you'll start to see, after 28 days is when you start to see the process happening, and where you might get a little bit of the scab forming, or it just starts disappearing. It's quite incredible and magical at the same time. Now, in between those stages, you'll still have these liver spots. You might want to start to cover them up a little bit. So how I did it, and I'll show you this video when I had a liver spot right here, a small one, is I tend to use my mineral makeup, and I have a specific one that's called the shaping, believe it or not, for shaping your face. And it's a darker brown. And I found it completely made the liver spot disappear, the brown spot disappear. So how I applied it was with a small brush, and then or you can use your finger and just do it so it's completely covered. And then what I then do, I'll go around the edge a little bit and just smooth it around the edge. And that would, voila, liver spot's gone. And if you use a really good quality mineral makeup, the one I have is mainly contains zinc. It's very, very good for the skin as well. It helps, the zinc is very healing for the skin. So there is basically 9 steps on how you could deal with age spots for timeless beauty. So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Otherwise, it's bye for now.